Where's the sound trip ever taken?
Hey everybody, so I just wanted to let you know that with Oddcast, you can go over to patreon.com/oddcastn, because me and the guys, in the off time with Anthony having his baby, we're doing some extra bonus content that you'll only be able to get there coming soon. So go check that out. I already have some episodes lined up. Gonna do like top favorite episodes of Kid Next Door with Maverick, do some things like that. So if you want some extra content of just random bullshit, we're gonna have things up there exclusively at patreon.com/oddcastn. So go and check that out. Enjoy it. Goodbye, everyone.
Do you by any chance happen to be in special ed?
Not anymore.
So I want to end it.
Easy, buddy, just calm down.
It's the only way. I gotta end it. I gotta burn.
Oh, now calm down. Think a minute.
You gotta let me do it, Doc.
I
You
gotta
got.
say, that movie wasn't bad. It wasn't good either. I mean, it was just kind of there.
It's very mediocre. It's just mediocre. Which is crazy. I made a ton of money. Anyway, we're watching you. We're listening to you. Don't make me pull up your text messages between you and your friends.
Oh, no, God.
Yeah, don't pull up the Oddcast group chat, please, for the love of God. But that's on theme. We're doing Eagle Eye today from 2008, which not the worst. It's very middle of the road mediocre. Somehow managed to just ride like, Although I have some issues with it here and there.
Think of it as enemy of the state, but not good. Yeah. It's pretty much how I thought about it when I was watching it.
He's not entirely wrong. If you somehow managed to never see this movie, or maybe you've never even heard of it, Eagle Eye, the theme of the things they're doing is more relevant to today than it was 20 years ago, because some of the things they're using in this movie are things they're literally trying to do now, but it wasn't even thought of 20 years ago. So like, holy shit, this movie was ahead of its time just a tad, which is fucking insane. So Eagle Eye, I have some background information here. Looking up this director, seeing the things this director did, honestly surprised this is just mediocre middle of the road. It's DJ Caruso, which some of you may have heard of that name, because he's done movies like Triple X2, The Return of Xander Cage,
Which was also mediocre, middle of the road, but
I have not seen this because I'm just not a religious guy, so it didn't come up on my fucking radar at all. But he also did Mary in 2024, which is about Mary, mother of Joe, like that whole thing. Apparently he did that, and I was like, weird, considering the other movies he's done have nothing to do with that. So like, holy shit. In relevance to today's episode, for today's movie, the reason Shia LaBeouf is in this movie is because the year before, he worked with this same director on a movie called Disturbia. Which is how Shia LaBeouf ended up being cast.
again, Disturbia also middle of the road, and also the retelling of Rear Window for those who have not seen the original. Hitchcock movie. It's basically the same movie. It really is.
I was honestly thinking about this when I was getting my notes. I'm like, they remade that movie technically twice, and I think it was like the same fucking year because it's this and Lakeview Terrace are almost the exact same thing.
Yeah,
it's just, they just change a couple details.
So if you're wondering, if you've never watched any of these movies, just watch Rear Window, and that's the good one, and the rest of them are just shit. Okay,
once you do it right. But I have some troubling news with this director. There's 2 movies in his up and coming that I just went, oh god. Which apparently, currently in production, they are making XXX4. And I went, fucking why? Why are we making another XXX? Why?
Xander Cage is in a nursing home. They call him the service.
Now, this is going to be the one where we learn that Xander Cage changed his name to Dom, and then it all ties to Fast and Furious.
It's all ties to family. Yeah, it's all about family.
Paul Walker's CGI AI face comes in at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, keep my eye on this kid.
I live my life 10 seconds at a time. That's when my pacemaker kicks in, about every 10 seconds. You know.
I saw XXX4 and I was like, I didn't even know they were considering making a fucking another one of those.
Well, because for Triple H3, it wasn't even him, was it? It was Ice Cube or Ice T, one of the Ices, right?
So you got you had XXX with Vin Diesel, the first one,
right?
And then the second one was Ice Cube. They were like, whereas XXX State of the Union, and then that didn't pan over as well. So
I wonder why?
Went...
Because the XXX was because of the character's name, you know.
And then they did XXX Return of Xander Cage to bring Vin Diesel back. And now they're doing a 4th one, which doesn't have an extra title onto it. I assume they'll probably add something, but the fact it doesn't have one now, it's that God only knows what they're doing with it. But he's also apparently at the moment, they haven't started production, so he may or may not stay with it, depending, because as I said, he's already doing a movie currently. But he is in the listing for G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant, which is in pre-production. And I went, fuck me, they are doing another G.I. Joe movie. Please, God, no. Cancel that now.
As far as I'm concerned, they dropped the ball because they had somewhere to go when they did the last one with Cobra. They were leading into a Cobra movie, which would have been cool. And so now, see, now I'm afraid they're going to lean into the whole patriotic, blah, 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 you know.
Oh, I think so. With the name Ever Vigilant. I was like, what the fuck is that shit? So yeah, he may be directing both of them. The G.I. Joe one hasn't started.
By the way, I want you to know I'm old enough that my first G.I. Joe was one of the nice 12-inch jobbies, not those little itty-bitty ones that you all had. I had an actual, you know.
Hey, I had the bigger ones. I even had a buddy who had more, and I kind of may or may not have stole them when his grandmother babysat me.
That is very anti-G.I. Joe. I'm just throwing that out there, you know.
They were so cool.
By the way, the original G.I. Joe didn't have all those weird characters with him either. He was just a soldier boy.
Just soldiers,
you know?
yeah. So that's the director here. What a mixed bag of fucking things he's doing. I couldn't tell you. And watching this movie, couldn't have told you he did the other ones because this one doesn't match.
For XXX4 here, he's probably bringing in Shia LaBeouf as the new super agent. You know,
Are they going to pull Indiana Jones? He's the long lost son who they then kill the next movie for some fucking reason. You know what?
And it really makes no sense. They called me Mutt. That never made sense to me.
Just on a side note, I watched the last Indiana Jones. Can I just say, why the fuck did we kill his son? We didn't even kill him on screen. It's just an offhanded, he went into the war and died. And I'm like, did Shia LaBeouf not want to come back?
No.
Did we just fucking kill him?
or just They admitted it. They admitted in production that, my God, Crystal Skull was bad. Let's not
This
even,
one was so much worse.
let's not bring any of that shit back. That never happened. All right.
I won't go into a full rap, but like the last two were both terrible.
we really should cover Crystal Skull for this show at some point. I mean,
oh God, I haven't seen that in years, but it's burned into my brain.
I only watched it when it first came out. I've refused to watch it again.
I've just got bits and clips when it's on TV. I've never sat down to actually watch it because I'm like, no, this is bad.
I don't watch TV. I got streaming services for that shit. I don't do that.
Hence, I haven't seen it in years because I haven't had TV in years. All right, so let's get into this. Eagle Eye. I get
Lou Gossett Jr. Oh wait, wrong movie. My bad. Sorry.
So this movie does begin. We get a military operation going on in the Middle East, and they're trying to ID their target. Which, sure, this is where we get the hint about that there's like an AI system that they're using to like take the photos and voice and match it. But they're only, I think they get it to like 51% of like, it's the guy. And, fucking Christ. Shit that happens, because it turns into like they're doing a funeral and they don't know if it's actually their target, and they called the president. And the president just goes, if that's actually him, we can't have retaliation. Kill him. Blow it all up. So they do. And that will now chain react everything that will happen in this movie going forward.
By the way, for modern day tie-in for this, just so you know, because I just completed the game, 007 First Light plays into this plot a little bit too. I am not joking. I am so not joking.
I got far enough to see there was an AI, and I immediately went, that's going to be a thing the rest of this game, isn't it? So... No, I just, I'll get there at some point eventually. I'll be able to get there. So they blow up this group. As far as we know, it just looked like a funeral. So, like, the defense director feels very bad about it. It's just like, I don't think we made the right call. I'm pretty sure we just killed, like, a couple dozen innocent people, but all right. And then it just immediately cuts from that. We cut over to our main character, Jerry Shaw, which is our Shia LaBeouf, and he's playing coin poker with what you'll find out is all his coworkers. They're just throwing their loose change and playing poker in the back room, apparently on break. Fucking Christ. Like, everyone's just like, fuck the customers. Let's go play poker in the back.
Well, so basically, Jerry is not a winner. He's a loser. He just kind of does what he has to do to survive. He has no drive to really do anything or be anything or nothing. I mean, we're talking, he's just happy to exist, and even then he's like, I don't care, whatever.
Seriously. And he works at a photocopy place. But I also have in my notes, because this is where the news talks about, because anti-terrorism, that the FBI eavesdrops on everyone, their phone calls, whatnot, which they do. They still 100% do that. But it ties into Shia LaBeouf had talked about in an interview for this movie that while they were filming, they had somebody from the FBI there to, like, I guess for like fact checking, whatever. Good on them, I guess. But he has a story of that this guy pulled up a phone call he had from 2 years before filming to prove to him, like, oh, no, we 100% record things. Like, here's something that was recorded, like, it's nothing, and it freaked him the fuck out.
And that they record about every seven phone calls or something. Actually...
Yeah,
And the fact that they had access to it years later, that's the scary thought, is that,
right.
that just out of the blue, they did
aware.
a search for Shia LaBeouf, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll send him the one about that party he was at.
Yeah. Here's where he was talking shit about his co-star from Transformers. Yeah, we'll play that one.
Yeah, we got that phone call where you were bragging about banging your co-star.
Let's play it for everybody. Yeah,
let's play it for everyone. Oh. So anyways, we get to see that Jerry lives in like a duplex kind of building. He pays part of his rent to his landlord, tells her like, I'll get the rest of you. I'm working on it. Just give me a minute. But he gets a phone call from his family, and we jump over to a funeral. He has a twin brother, we find out, and his twin brother has been KIA, like he's been killed in action. They're having a funeral. Yeah, and we learn that Jerry really is just a disappointment to everyone because he gets a lecture from his dad about dropping out of college and then just like fucking around.
Yeah, I mean, dad is kind of a dick here because his twin brother just died. He just came from the funeral, and dad's like, "You're a waste of flesh." Thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, literally. Like, just so you know, you're such a disappointment. It's like, man, I get it.
Why couldn't you be more like your brother? Blah. That's what you want to hear when you just left his funeral. My response would have been, "You mean like dead? That's what he is now."
So fucked up. It's true though. Like, what do you expect? Oh.
I spoke to Stanford. I pulled some strings. They said they'd take you back, even though you took
2 years ago, Dad.
Jerry, it wouldn't kill you to ask for help once in a while.
You want to have this conversation now?
It's Stanford.
You want to do this
you know
today?
How many people would kill?
Today, you want to have this now?
Fine. You do whatever you want. You always have.
I keep thinking I'm going to walk in here one day. I'm not going to feel like a stranger in my own house. I don't want you, Mom.
But we cut from all that nonsense. We cut over to a single mom, which is our second character, Rachel Holloman. She's getting her son together. He has like a field trip going on, so they're trying to get out the door. We see forgetful mom brain. She's doing too many things. Left the car keys in the fridge because she put lunch out of there. Like, oops. Anyway.
Quick note: did you note who played the son?
I recognized the kid's face, but I didn't look at who it was.
I don't have his name in front of me, but he actually passed away at the age of 20. He had done some movies with Adam Sandler. He passed away at the age of 20. He had a seizure in his sleep.
Shit,
he was one of the Disney kids. Yeah,
oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't look at that. You know who would have known that? Maverick would have known that. The Disney kid that he was. Yeah. He would have known. I recognized his face, but
Disney
I didn't put a name to it.
But yeah, he died at an extremely young age. He had a lot of promise ahead of him. This had to be one of his earliest roles. I recognized him because he had the big freckles on his face.
That's how I recognize it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I've seen this kid in a bunch of things.
Yeah. You had up to
Well,
because even in put it this way, even in Happy Gilmore 2, even though he'd been dead for a few years, he passed away a few. There, if you look on one of the sets where he's talking to somebody on the TV set, there's a picture, and it's of this actor. Oh. So yeah,
I know. I'll have to. All right, I'll have to double check who this kid is. I'll put in an editor note.
There you go.
I didn't have. I didn't look at that. But yeah, so her son has a band school trip, and they're going to DC. Then apparently they're taking train, maybe because there's just a lot of kids. But I feel like whenever my school did anything, it was usually by plane. That if it was out of state, I don't know if there was any time where they actually took trains. To be totally honest here, but then again, it's a city, so I don't know. Maybe that's just more common. I didn't live in a city. We lived in the middle of nowhere, so usually we had to go to an airport. Or just a very long bus ride. But
Well, and in reality, because I've done the whole train travel thing, you can't plan on being anywhere on time on a train. It's like
yeah, no, you
just
can't.
plan on being late. Anywhere from 2 hours to 2 days. I'm not kidding. It's like
I traveled by train once.
you cannot be on a tight schedule. You have to have a whole lot of leeway.
That's fair. So he gets on a train. We see a shady person checking out his luggage, which they don't explain what that is until quite a bit later. You'll get details of like what the fuck was actually going on there, why this dude was eyeballing them and doing whatever he was doing.
Why she was also chosen for what's about to happen. That doesn't come up for a lot longer into the movie than you're like, holy, because you learn it pretty early on why Shia LaBeouf's character has to be involved.
Fair. They give you a little bit to work on with him.
And when we get to that
way
point,
more than her.
I am going to dissect that point so bad. I
had some thoughts. I had some thoughts too.
Yeah.
So we cut over back to Jerry, who's checking his bank account, and like, I guess somehow he just has millions of dollars in his bank account. He's super confused. He's just like, what the fuck? Takes out a shit ton of money and immediately goes back home. He gives rent to his landlord.
That's what I would do if all of a sudden there was an exorbitant amount of money in my account. How could they possibly
100%.
track that? Yeah.
Somebody made a mistake, but you know what? It's my payday now. I know you should probably turn it in, but I'm not fucking
until they go, yeah, that was a mistake and you need to pay it all back, which is exactly what they do if that happens.
Good luck finding me. How to use that money to go.
Well, at that point, though, it is because at that point it is considered theft, and and depending on how much, because you knew it wasn't your money, type of thing.
I could come up with a lot for days. I've been investing in stocks for quite a while. I thought I got a payout. What do you mean it's not mine?
Yeah. There's a difference between $300 and $3 million. Okay, I'm just saying. What is it like?
See the extra zeros.
Like,
what do you mean?
What is it? What is it when Hans Gruber? You steal $6,000, nobody pays attention. You steal, $600 million. They're gonna come looking for you.
So when Jerry gets back, he gives his landlord thinking, so he tells her this is the rent for this month and next month. It's just all in advance, so I don't have to pay it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, but how much money you had? I feel like you could have just been like, here's rent for the rest of the fucking year. Like, you would have just been golden.
I'm just going to buy the building. Here you go.
Right. But he gets delivered a bunch of boxes, and apparently his landlord just let them into his apartment because there was too much in the hallway. And apparently this didn't raise any flags to this woman that he had just like manure things being delivered and a bunch of just like clearly classified looking briefcases and shit. But she didn't bat an eye. It's just like, take it into his apartment. I'll give a shit what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, lady, with some of the shit he's opening, like, what do you mean? Also, because he looks at like one of them is just like a whole fucking delivery of fertilizer stuff, and it's like, lady, you live in the middle of the city in an apartment building like this. There's nothing good that could be coming from that being delivered.
That should be a red flag. Yeah, fertilizer in the U-Haul truck that's parked out front would be a clue.
It should be.
Well, not only that, one of the things he opens up is a gun in a case.
He opens up like a 50 cal, a couple pistols.
And idiot Jerry reaches over and picks up the pistol. Okay. So now his fingerprints are on the weapon. Okay.
Not only does he open a pistol case, pull out the pistol, and be like, "Whoa, there's straight up a 50 kill sniper that he pulls out," and he's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "What are you doing? You're just giving yourself away."
Let's touch everything. Let's take DNA evidence. Here, let's lick it, okay?
Oh, I do agree with that. I don't know why he just continued to touch everything. But this is where I have in my notes, where the director goes, "Hey, have you guys seen The Matrix? Okay, good. Then you'll understand what I'm doing."
Yeah.
Because Jerry gets a phone call from a random woman's voice telling him that he needs to leave now because the FBI will be to his apartment within a couple minutes. He needs to evacuate the area. And Jerry's like, "Whatever, crazy lady," and just hangs up, immediately gets busted. And I'm like, for what the movie will do by the end, this AI is supposed to be super intelligent, but it gave him literally 5-second warning of like, "You're about to be raided by the FBI, you need to get out." He wasn't going anywhere without.
Well, no, not only that, if he wouldn't have argued, it's part of, like, but still, too, I mean, at that point, I would have been like, standing there, hands up, But then again, I just touched a sniper rifle and a pistol that's probably been used in a crime. And I've got enough material to blow up 3 city blocks,
He's so fucked. He makes it worse for himself in this movie, too.
And the funny thing is, in reality, if he would have thought, he's not, because all he has to do was, according to my landlord, and this stuff just got here today, you can ask her, she's right downstairs. What do you mean she's been shot in the head? Well, shit. Okay, never mind. And in the movie, we don't know that she's been killed, but I mean, I'm just saying, there were many times that he could have cleaned this up really quick and went, no, something else is going on. I had nothing to do with this crap,
They flashbang and raided that poor woman's apartment.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh. But speaking of which,
there aren't plot holes in this movie. There are plot gaping holes in this. We're talking 6-lane freeways, okay?
That's definitely some shit. Oh, because we cut over to the FBI interrogation room, and we get Billy Bob Thornton, who I wrote his character's name down later, but I was just like, Billy Bob. It's just
it really doesn't matter. And this has got to be one of the stupidest FBI agents I've ever seen in my life.
No fucking kidding. So yeah, so this is where he questions him about his brother being like a higher intelligence Navy officer, whatever, and like he has ties to this, that, and the other. And you had all this stuff sent to you, and it was supposed to be your brother's, but it was sent to you. Oh, also, a Cayman account emptied and sent you all the money. And he looks at his hands, and he's just like, oh, you got a lot of ink on your hands. You do a lot of drawing? Or said all that money you took out from the ATM earlier.
Yeah.
The only explanation that this FBI agent gives is that he's now classified a terrorist because they found all of this equipment and things in his apartment with his fingerprints on. As we pointed out earlier, he fucking touched everything. And he's like, because of that, I don't have to do shit. I can now just hold you because you're clearly guilty.
And it's like they tried to make Billy Bob like what's his name's character in The Fugitive, check every outhouse, in-house, they tried to do that whole, give him that kind of...
They did.
Yeah.
They tried, all right.
Here's the thing, Jerry. This is a bad time to be in the terrorism business. You read the paper. Who do you think's winning? Your Miranda rights or my right to keep you in this room as long as I want to? I don't care if you tell me the truth about your brother. I don't care who you work for. Because no matter what you tell me, you're in a shitload of trouble, son.
It's insane. I work for Copy Cabana.
Yeah, that's what you said.
So that goes on. He gets Billy Bob's basically getting nowhere. Jerry technically tells him the truth of like he works at a photocopy place, hasn't talked to his brother, and he's telling him the truth, and Billy Bob's like, yeah, right, because all the stuff we have on you says the complete opposite. You sit tight. We cut back over to Rachel, who's trying to enjoy a ladies' night out. Meanwhile, while Jerry's getting interrogated like a villain, but she also gets a phone call, and her phone call is just like, yeah, look across the street. Yeah, those guys are gonna fucking kill you. You're now being targeted. You're activated. Now go get in this unmarked car and drive to this location. To Rachel's credit, she does make a phone call to the police, but it is immediately taken over and hacked, and she gets told that if she continues to disobey, her son's gonna die. So at least there's something there. I don't think Jerry... you know what? I don't understand why Jerry keeps going along with everything. There's literally nothing this thing can threaten him with. He's dead to his family. His brother's dead. Like, the threatening of the son of, like, I'll make the train go off the rails and kill your son. That's like, okay, yeah, motherly instinct, she's going to save her son. What the fuck does it have on Jerry? Because he's going to escape from the FBI? And I don't know why. He just makes it worse on himself.
And since he really didn't do anything, he doesn't. Where's he gonna go? Even there's nowhere for him to go. I would have. Okay, fine. Let's do whatever you got to do, man.
That's about how I felt watching this, bro. It's just like Jerry keeps running away in situations where, like, if you just stayed, it would be very easy for you to explain, like, how the fuck would I have done that? But he doesn't fucking do that at all. Because, once again, spoiler alert if you've never seen this, it's an AI doing everything, in case you haven't caught on yet. But the AI sends a forged document to Jerry gets a phone call. I guess. And then with the phone call, we get another Matrix thing where it's like, you need to do this, that, and the other. And apparently all the construction equipment in this fucking city is automated and not a single goddamn person is needed.
I'm just thinking that, years ago, Elon Musk watched this movie and went, hey, that's a good idea.
I think so. I think so. Because it hacks a crane that then smashes into the FBI building. And then while the FBI is trying to get in, Jerry, again, instead of just staying there to be like, how could I have possibly done this? He just goes, okay, crazy lady voice on the phone, I'll jump onto the crane and get away. Make it so much worse for yourself. So he does that. He gets put onto a train, and then he tries to ignore the calls because it's calling him from, like, random people's phones. It ends up stopping the train, and then immediately calls everybody and is like, hey, this guy's a wanted fugitive terrorist. You should kick his ass. I'm just like, do you want him to fucking help? Or do you want him dead? What is the plot point here? Because when we get to the end, little things like that, I'm like, if he got killed right there, what would you have done, you stupid thing? Let me tell you, the plot of this movie, dead right there. But he gets told to get off the train. This is where he meets up with Rachel, who's in the car that the fucking thing got for her. And then we get a fucking police chase through the streets with the FBI and everybody chasing them, and like red lights getting done in, and like cop cars crashing. Really, my biggest note here, because we also get Rosario Dawson, who comes in as a Navy agent of some. She's like high up Navy consultant for dealing with the twin brother who's dead. But she's with Billy Bob in his car, and they get hit by a truck. And I call bullshit on this moment here in this movie, because they get out of that car with just like a bloody nose and a couple scrapes on their head, and Billy Bob's just like, "You all right? All right, good, let's go chase him." And I went, no, that car literally was T-boned where you had to go to the other side of the car. You are not walking away from that. There's at least a broken arm, a leg. What the fuck do you mean? The greatest safety features ever in that car, apparently. I couldn't help it. I had to point that out.
That was an American car, built to last.
But that's something I just had to call that out, because I was just like, what? Like, they couldn't even get out the passenger door, so like the car is like a V shape, and they're just like, "No, I'm fine. Let's go chase our suspect." I'm like, no.
Not only that, they caused a multi-car pileup, which probably killed at least 2 people.
There's so many people died in this movie. I have a note that will come up later of 100% there's people in the background of no consequence who die.
Yeah.
There's a scene later in the movie where someone shoots and clearly kills a random person. I called it out immediately. So yeah, they get away because they get directed to a junkyard. And then again, automated system apparently, don't need any people to run the machines. It takes a crane and puts it over the water, makes them jump out onto a garbage truck, and then drops the truck SUV into the water. I guess to cover up their tracks, even though the FBI knows who they are. They're literally tracking them because they know who they are. So I don't know what that was supposed to do.
I know. Just follow the carnage. I mean, it's not really,
Fucking seriously. I know I normally include clips anyway, but I 100% need to include this here because I enjoyed Billy Bob at the junkyard, and it may be the only time in this movie where I can go, you know what? I liked him in this scene. Because he looks at all of his agents, and they're all just like, "Oh man, I don't know how the cranes work, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "If you're staring at me, I better be the goddamn suspect, or all of you are going to be on different duties of work involving a lot of shit in your bare hands." And I was like, that's actually kind of good. That's maybe the only time in this where I go, that's actually kind of funny.
If you're staring at me, it better be because I'm the goddamn suspect. Because if I don't get some good leads soon, you're all going to be demoted to something that's going to require touching shit with your hands. Now let's get going. We got work to do.
So at this point, the FBI, like, no one has answers. Rosario Dawson's character gets taken off because she's going to inspect Jerry's twin brother's apartment house or whatever. She's going to look at his quarters, see if there's any information for him, anything that will help them. And this is where they start to reveal that it's an AI to a degree, because they haven't said outright yet. But this is where we start to get it, because we get a bunch of cameras being used to watch a past meeting about this new military explosive tech, which basically just looked like nitroglycerin, but like it's something different. It's not that. It's something completely different than the movie calls it. But it's like a crystal, and it explodes with a frequency detonator. And we see that it gets stolen and then gets sent to a dude who repairs instruments. And this is your tie-in for what that weird eyeballing dude was at the train station, is that he repairs instruments, and he gets instructed. Again, no fucking idea what this thing's using as leverage to make this man do this. But we see he's fastening some kind of device onto an instrument, which will later be used by the son later in this movie. Hint of what's going to happen.
Also, here's the first thing I want to point out about that.
So dumb.
The school or whatever he was part of,
Yeah.
or even the kid would know, don't check the instrument. It's a small enough instrument. It's a carry-on instrument. He's not carrying a tuba with him. You know, it's
just a French horn.
It's
nothing. It's nothing huge.
I mean, it wasn't even a French horn, was it? It wasn't even a French horn, was it? It was just it was a brass instrument, but it wasn't so big they would have had to check it. You know.
Either way, it is at like handheld, very small, but it's in a bigger case than it needs to. So I couldn't tell you. Jerry and Rachel, they take the boat drops them off, and then they just like wander around to get where they have to go. And we get this whole thing of them in a cornfield arguing about why each of them have been selected. And she Jerry brings up his brother was like ex-Navy guy, whatever. And she's like, well, clearly it's all you then. Like, she's actually smart enough to recognize there's only one of us with any fucking tie to anything going on. But they get approached by a van, and out of that van hops that dude that they showed you in that flashback. Except he says he doesn't want to drive the van. He doesn't want to do what they're telling him to do anymore. He's done. I have a note here. I have a note for this movie. Because the AI decides, okay, well, I can't let him live and like tell everybody what I had him do. So it makes the power lines disconnect from the towers to then swing by and kill this man. And I went, that's not how power lines... What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
It can just detach power lines?
If the AI could do that, that means that there's somebody in an office somewhere who could punch a button and just...
And you know, honestly...
North Dakota doesn't need power right now. Hang on a second. There we go. Yeah.
You know, and honestly, when this movie came out, I remember back to when this movie was coming out, one of the reviews I had heard from one of the radio stations I listened to as a kid, even the guys on there were just like, this scene made no fucking sense. That's not how power lines work. Like, what the fuck do you mean it's shooting power lines down?
Yeah.
It tries to have some kind of like logical thing of like, apparently it overloads it, whatever, but it's like, no, that's just not how that works. No. But that dude gets incinerated, just burnt to a crisp. And they take the van and they have to head out. So they're headed out to wherever the fuck the AI wants them to go. We cut back to Agent Perez, who's Rosario Dawson's character. She's at the twins' living quarters. She's not fighting anything until she finds a laptop and finds that the laptop then opens up to Project Eagle Eye. And that's when she becomes aware that there's something bigger here, but she doesn't have the passwords. She can't get into it. But it does tell her immediately, like, oh, hey, by the way, the second, like, entire defense branch now knows you've tried to activate this. We're fucking coming for you now. And she immediately gets picked up, and they're just like, yeah, no, we're going to have to tell you about all this, because now you're digging into things that you shouldn't know. And that's not how this would work.
I was going to say that. You know, since you found that piece of information about the super top secret black hat operation, you know, we're just going to fill you in. We're just going to...
Yeah, no.
Raise your hand. No. You solemnly swear not to tell anybody anything about anything you're about to hear. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm like, whatever. Movie's gonna movie. So in this, so this thing here, we cut back to our duo in the van. They also have a moment where they have to stop because Rachel's just like, oh, I don't think I could keep doing this because I think you're lying to me, Jerry. And then Jerry pulls over and he's like, you know what? Fuck it then. Let it kill me. Like, blah, blah, blah. They patch it over. They continue on. But my note comes in because when they get to the next city, they have the worst fucking park job. It bothered me so much because this street, they like park halfway in the fucking street, halfway into the parallel park, and I'm like, somebody's reporting that. You're not inconspicuous at all. You're blocking the fucking road. But they get told that they have to rob an armored truck, and I guess there's shotgun storage in a different vehicle that somehow they get shotguns, and I always question this of like, where the fuck did they even? Was there just a shotgun storage truck? Like, what the
Apparently,
fuck?
the AI thought this out a lot and laid stuff all over the place. Probably left a lot of dead people in its wake as it was trying to lay all this stuff out.
I think so. I think the body count in this movie needs to be explored because I think there's a lot. So
because it really does appear like the AI was running under the leave no witnesses, type of aspect of things.
It really is to like for most of the things it's doing. So they rob these guards. Somehow they managed to rob these guards. The guards 100% would have just shot them in real life. There would be no like, oh, don't shoot us. Like, no, they would have just shot you dead. But they get that. They run away. This is where my note comes in of they just killed a random citizen because when the guards open fire on them when they run away and you see someone drive down the street and windows shattered and they go and crash. I'm like, oh, just firing however you can. You just killed that random person.
That's right.
Like,
and even if you didn't do the shooting, somebody dies in the commission of a crime.
I think that bothered me so much. It's just like, you were such terrible shot. You just hurt everybody who was on the street instead of who you were shooting at. But the AI gets them pulled into a Japanese tourist bus. Randomly, they're in the area. Also, the tour, what is the AI fucking doing to threaten these bus drivers? Because when they get on it, it is literally, and I'm not making this up, it is literally, it's just Japanese tourists with like their own dedicated bus, but these people get pulled on, two random white people, and I'm like, the AI called them and told them to get these people. What was the threat? I'll crash your bus? Like, I don't understand this plot. Anyway, so Agent Perez, this is where she gets pulled into a meeting with the Secretary of Defense, who we saw in the beginning of the movie. Fun fact, he'll become the Thing. Or actually, he was the Thing. But in this part of his life, he wasn't yet. Anyway, so she learns about Eagle Eye, which is an advanced AI system. Ooh, big reveal that the AI has been the bad guy the whole time.
Michael Chiklis, right? Is that who we're talking about?
Yes.
Who was also the Shield, Vic Mackey.
The Shield, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. Jerry and Rachel get pulled into a Circuit City, which doesn't I don't even think I don't think they exist anymore, right?
They don't. They stopped existing a while back. Yeah.
I thought so. But they get pulled into one to sit in front of a bunch of TVs. And this is where the AI pulls up like, oh, I have access to all the information. And like, I know everything about you and your brother. I know everything about Rachel and her son. But she just straight belittles Jerry. It's just like, your brother was so smart and good. You're such a dumb piece of shit. But I need you, so you're going to do this. By the way, did I say you're a dumb piece of shit? And I'm like, What is the AI's plan? Just belittle him?
The only thing AI didn't do was take a mannequin and make it do this shit, you know?
Literally. You think I'm joking, but it really does.
Before he was a year old, Ethan walked. The same task took you 18 months to accomplish.
How did you get this?
They were uploaded from his home computer.
Ethan had these.
Although you're identical in appearance, you lack the motivation and talent that enabled Ethan to excel.
Stop it.
You're different from Ethan in every way, except one. You now have 14 minutes to change your appearance and return to the bus.
He just continuously belittles him this entire fucking scene of like his brother was better than him in every way.
You know, and again, if it was me, I would have, at that point, I've been like, you know, if I wanted to get picked on like this, I would have stayed home and talked to Dad. I'd be, you know, we get to the point. Let's keep moving here. Yeah.
But this is where I have a bit of a thing in this episode for you all. That as much as this movie is very just out there in what it's doing, a little personal side note, AI is something the military is using very heavily nowadays. So again, this movie was just ahead of its time. 20 years ago, not so much. Now, yes. And I can tell you the things I've heard is that the AI is not smart. So thank God it's not actually an eagle eye. In fact, it tends to not do things so correct that somebody has to go through and correct whatever it was supposed to do. But again, this movie was 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago at this point. We're in 2026. This came out in 2008. It was very much just ahead of that. The military 100% is going to be very AI forward as they are now. But I say we need to act accordingly and take it all down. We'll just Skynet's got to go before it gets rid of us, right? Anyway, moving on.
I don't know. I'll be 60 in like 6 months. I'm like, bring it on,
So Paul doesn't have to worry about the rest of us. Paul's gonna outlive us all.
If the world's gonna end, fuck it. It's
See, that's what we haven't told you. Cerebral Paul actually is Professor X, and he will outlive us all.
You know what? That will be my hell. That will be my luck. Bombs will go off. Shit will happen. And then there's me going, oh, fuck. Trying to get a hold of Keith Richards going, you there? Yeah, me too. Yeah, this is a bitch, isn't it? Yeah.
I'd pay to see that. Even if I have to crawl my burnt legs to it.
Yeah.
So this next scene, we get the FBI again. And I point this out in a lot of movies that do this. I fucking hate movie camera footage because they're just like zoom in, enhance. No, and zoom in on that little thing, enhance. That's not a fucking thing. That's not a thing you can do. If it's blurry and record, it's just that, especially because you find out this is on tape. This is not a digital thing they can do.
Because digitally you can do that to a point because there's
to a degree
now knows to try to fill in the pixels with the surrounding area and try to figure out what something is. So we have come that far, but yes, when you watch something like CSI or any of that shit where they do that crap,
Oh, it makes me laugh every time. I'm like, man, I fucking wish.
It's like, because in real life, all it does is it zooms in, it gets blurrier. Okay.
Exactly. There's no enhance button you can just push like they show you there is. But they see that the duo got on the bus that they did, so then they have a lead of where they're headed, but they don't know exactly.
Yeah, that away. They know that the bus went that away. That's about it further.
So now this came out in 2008. Now, I talked about some problems I had with Crocodile 2. Go check that out on the second channel, Jokey's Oddcast Void. That's
I
right,
can't
the
wait to
name
hear the
change.
tie-in between this and Crocodile 2. I don't know about that.
Security. This is post 9/11. Now, it's not as bad as Crocodile 2, where they let them get fucking pistols in their boots. However, they're going through the security line, and they just keep reminding them, like, the hat, this, that, and the other. The case that they stole has something in it. It has a timer. They assume it's a bomb of some kind. It goes through the scanner, and the lady notices, like, oh, that doesn't look right. Pulls it back. And the AI, like, changes what the image is, and they just go, oh, never mind. No.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Fucking no. When me and Sergeant Redacted, like, when we were coming back from Guam, when we were in, it was the Dallas airport. When we were leaving the Dallas airport, we were lucky enough to catch our flight because there was one little thing, for whatever fucking reason, they didn't like his bag, and we still don't know what the fuck it was, but, like, they held him back. We waited like an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes while they went through his bag, and they're like, I think we saw something. Fun fact, they fucking didn't. Like, he's flown on so many planes, he knows what to and not to have. So, like, this, 100% they're pulling you out of line. I'm like, no, we gotta double check. That didn't look right. So that's just something where I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? This is 2008.
Not to mention, imaging or not, AI can't change what's on an image like that.
Yes. Hey, this movie says this AI can change fucking everything, even your X-rays. It doesn't matter. But they're supposed to get on a plane and go to this whole thing, but of course they get seen by the FBI, which then Billy Bob just runs through an airport with his gun out, telling people to stop,
yelling,
and not
move,
a single
move,
security,
move, and, you know,
and not a single security guard shows up. Where he has to, like, at least have him, like, flash his badge, so he'd be like, I'm FBI, I need them. Nope, he just runs through the airport.
That doesn't mean they're not going to stop him. Oh, he said he's FBI. He's cool. He's cool, dude. Yeah.
Again, this is 2008. What are we doing? But we get a Toy Story 2 luggage fight, because that's all I could think of. Because they ride through the whole luggage system, and eventually they get to their plane.
Also, Die Hard 2.
Oh shit, that's right. It is a Die Hard 2. I didn't think of Die Hard 2. But they end up getting they end up getting spit out, and the AI tells them you need to get onto a cargo plane that's going to take you to DC, apparently. Whatever. Also, it gives them a random drug and is like, this is going to lower your heart rate so that you don't die from the pressure change, whatever, in the plane. And I went, what fucking drug is it giving? Like, again,
well,
if
the idea
Jerry
is
dies.
Okay, so the idea is to slow the breathing and to slow how much oxygen. You know, when you're up high like that, you know, there's less oxygen in the air and blah blah blah. Now, my thing is, what would kill me is, okay, so they're in an unpressurized area.
Yes.
Man, I tell you right now, personally, my ears would be trying to pop out of my head at that point because I've done unpressurized.
I have learned with flying that me and flying just don't get along, because every fucking time I have flown, my ears fill up. I've tried chewing gum. I've done everything that people tell me. None of it works. I just feel like I'm underwater the entire flight.
No, I'm okay in a pressurized plane. But yeah, because my grandfather used to fly, personal, prop aircraft. And if we went up and came down really fast, it would actually hurt my ear because of the change so quick, because it's unpressurized. It's like, I don't care how slow you make my breathing. I'm going to be screaming in pain, okay?
Or
the one time that was fun,
flying.
my saying, we got in the plane, and this was actually in a, going from one place to another in a jet, right? So I pressurized the whole bit, but still we go up. All of a sudden, my sinuses, it said, "Oh, pressure change," went pop, and I had this like 5-pound snot globule come floating up. And the stewardess goes, well, do you need a napkin? I said, yeah, it probably, yeah.
Good. See, I haven't had that happen. But again, like, I don't know what it is with me and flying, but every time I, like, the takeoff, my ears, everything just, it like pins and needles, like, pushing through my skull. I hate it. I've learned I just don't like flying because it does that every time on takeoff, no matter what.
Well, that's
do.
why you're supposed to try to chew gum or something, or you do the yawning and all that shit. Does help.
None of that did shit.
I can pop my ears, but yeah, if it goes too fast, then it really does hurt me. I mean, to the point of ow, 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 ow. You know.
But oh, right. So they take this drug. But again, my only issue there is, like, if the AI somehow fucked up, like, what if Jerry had some kind of allergic reaction she couldn't plan for? Again, if he dies, the whole plot of this movie goes out the fucking window. But hey, you know, the AI just needs him to get there. So
well, okay, here's where I do have an issue with this. They land, they get out of the container, and they are immediately, they're like 100%. I'm like, no, you put them on a drug like that, they're going to be groggy for a while. You know, it's not going to be like, okay, let's go. Like,
that is a good point. Yes. They should not.
It wore off just in time.
So back at the Eagle Eye base, we learn that they call the AI Aria. And Agent Perez learns that Ethan Shaw, the twin, he was part of this secret thing where, like, he worked with the AI, but they had to have a cover because this is a top secret thing. But as if it takes them way too long to figure out what's going on, because they get a video, and it's of Ethan apparently arguing with the AI. But Agent Perez points out that he's, like, flashing his phone's light on and off, and she's like, "Is that Morse code?" Which, like, sure. That's what he's doing. Sure. Apparently it was. Apparently he spells out a thing for them. But
I want to know what, because I was a ham operator. I know basic Morse code, and I also know how phones work. How could he control the phone flashing enough to actually be the dots and the dashes?
Apparently.
And the AI that's supposed to be super smart, you would think would be picking this shit up, because we see some stuff later in this movie that you're like, if the AI can't hear you or read your lips, it can pick up the vibrations off of a glass of water, like the Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic Park, and understand what you're saying. What? That's not how sound works, but okay. You know,
there's things this AI does where I'm just like, what the fuck do you mean? But apparently him flashing his phone said, I think it was like, look at extinguisher or whatever, and it's like
fire extinguisher or something. Yeah.
What do you mean? What? But again, the AI, like, corrupts the video and is like, oh, we can't keep this. Oops, looks like there's a mistake. The only one who catches on is Agent Perez, of just like, yes, this AI is evil as shit. We need to go somewhere else and talk. Dude who's been working with it this entire time doesn't catch on to that. When just Agent Perez like, oh, so that thing's fucking evil, huh? All right, gotcha. But yeah, so we learned that apparently he took his SD card and put it in the fire extinguisher area.
Well, no. Okay, no, what he did. God, do you watch these movies, or do you just make me watch these movies? Okay, what he did was, apparently the fire extinguisher was the only blind spot in the entire building.
Only blind spot in the AI. Yeah.
And he put his phone, SD card and everything, behind the fire extinguisher.
Oh, okay. I thought he just did the SD card. I was taking my note. I just caught that they were using that, and I'm like, sure, okay.
But because that's a blind spot, the AI didn't see that.
Also, why the fuck is that? Why is that a blind spot in this facility? Why? Because it would be like isn't it like in the main room? So why would there be a blind? Because he couldn't have gone very fucking far.
It was like in a stairwell or something. There was some, it was up on a,
this fucking movie. But anyway, this is where they get the video where that Ethan recorded. Where he's just arguing with the AI because the AI determines, because of that strike earlier in the movie we opened with, that none of the people in power should be in power. So it's going to, for some fucking reason, they programmed this into the AI for God only knows why. But it's like, oh, it's time to do the guillotine thing. And they're like, no, you can't do that. It's like, no, I'm gonna execute that program now where I just murder the entire government because you programmed me with that. Sure, movie. Sure, that's a thing. They do. Why the fuck would they have done? Who signed off on letting the AI do that?
By the way, here's where it comes into at the point that Agent Fred, the only smart one in the building, says, make sure you're not facing the cameras. Don't
cover your mouth. Don't face it.
Cover your mouth so it can't read your lips and don't really. But then we see the stupid shit where it zooms in on a glass of water or whatever, and apparently they're talking, even though they're just whispering, they're talking loud enough that you can see the water is vibrating like it was sitting in front of the speaker, literally. And boom, boom, boom.
It makes no fucking sense. Because then apparently the AI then goes, oh, I know by the ripples and vibration exactly what they're saying. And I'm like, are you a fucking bat? That doesn't make any sense. That's not how that works. But anyway,
theoretically, yes, if you could pick up the sounds of the sound bouncing off the water, how sound waves would. Yes, of course, but if they're talking that quietly, the water wouldn't be making any ripples at all, okay? Nothing.
It doesn't make sense.
Nothing.
I hated it so much.
Yeah.
But this is where Jerry and Rachel get taken to the same exact base of operations. And now, again, I was taking notes, but I 100% have to ask, where the hell is the security for this building? Where is security anywhere in this building? Because these two sneak right into the main control and get right up in there with the AI.
And then this is why the AI needed her though too, because she had a pass, she had access or something. She had access to something that they needed that only she had. That's why she got pulled into this. Not because her son was gonna, play the magic note like, the magic flute.
Yeah, I assumed. Hey, but so this is where the AI reveals the big plot of this entire movie, which is, oh hey, your brother thought I was evil and corrupted, so he put in a biometric sealed lock to not let me execute this thing. You're his identical twin or whatever. I need you to go over and unlock it for me now. And I went,
okay, yeah. Even before I saw the making of notes, let me tell you that identical twins are in fact not identical. Okay, biometric wise, they would not be the same. They do not sound the same. They do not talk the same. Close, yes, to an untrained ear. They might. But to be close enough to match a biometric lock, both with what the eye scan or whatever it did and the voice match, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. On a biometric level, no, no. They don't have they don't have the same fingerprints. They don't have the same irises.
No, As some of you may know, with What an Oddcast, my friend Anthony there, he's married to a twin. So Maverick, being his sisters, could tell you that they look kind of similar, but not even close to being the same. They're twins, sure, but
yeah,
no, there are definite differences between the two. Yeah. So this whole plot makes no fucking sense.
Well, not to mention that Jerry has a mustache and had facial hair, and his twin did not. Okay, so yeah, that's how you were supposed to tell them apart. By the way, that's how you told them apart in the flashbacks and at the funeral scene when he was crying over his own face. By the way, I have to mention, I didn't mention this during the beginning of the movie, the funeral scene. Shia said so he would be emotional and crying during that scene.
Yeah.
He listened to Somewhere Over the Rainbow because that gets him every time. Right there in the heart, man. You know?
You're such a dick. The only thing I was gonna say, the brother being clean shaved, again, living with somebody who's in the military, that makes sense. They are, unless, as I have been told, unless you are a special operations high rank, you are not allowed to have no mustache, no beard. You must be clean shaven. Bottom line, period. That's like in your contract. But
unless you're a douchebag pilot in the Air Force, then you have that stupid mustache that they'll have. You know, that screams from across the room. That's a douchebag. You know.
Yes. But yeah, to Paul's point, because like it like scans the face, it like fingerprint and shit, and it's like, but he doesn't look exactly like his brother, and his voice. There's no way you're telling me they have the exact same fucking voice. Because again, as we pointed out, even if you're identical, that's not how twins work. None of this is how that fucking works.
Cadence and speaking and all that stuff.
Apparently they were just, even though they hadn't talked in years, they were exactly identical to the letter.
Well, and here's the other thing. So this computer can do all this stuff, right? Has access to all these systems.
But it couldn't.
But a biometric lock is going to
bypass?
stop it. Okay, what? Really? Is
It's
that how
it's
that
like
works?
it takes over everything in an entire city base, but like a biometric lock can't figure out how to bypass that at all. Can't go through the circuits and programs like anything else that's done this movie. Like when they're at the airport, it literally unlocks like a key card needed lock, but you're telling me it can't figure out the other one? What do you mean? So anyway, so Jerry does this because Jerry is stupid. And Jerry just goes, sure, whatever. I don't give a shit. Rachel gets a phone call, and she's basically told she has to get rid of Jerry, like kill him, but she can't.
And all of a sudden, Rachel has access to it. You know, the AI gives her said, "There's a gun over here," so she goes.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it does. So Jerry
like,
turns off.
You kill him or we kill your son. Blah blah blah. You know the
same thing
usual,
it's been doing the whole time. And it also says it has more planned for her, but it doesn't need Jerry anymore. But again, as I pointed out before, where the hell is the security for this supposed top secret building? Because the FBI also is able to just bust in the front door. And they come in, they get everything captured. Rachel gets away, Jerry gets captured, and the AI tells Rachel, like, oh, well, he'll get taken care of in other means. You go ahead to the other part of the plan we have. Yeah, so Jerry once again gets taken by the FBI. And, the ending to we're getting towards the end of this entire movie, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So FBI sucks at its job, because while they have Jerry in isolation, one of the FBI agents gets tipped off about all that stuff from way fucking before of an explosive getting taken and stolen, and that it's tied to that dude they thought was supposedly clean from the instrument repair shop, and like, all seems a bit sketchy. And somehow, Billy Bob just puts the dots together before everybody and goes, yeah, okay. Breaks Jerry out and immediately takes off for DC. And he's like, I don't know why, but somehow me thinks that we have to get to DC because that explosive's going to be there. And I'm like, how did we get to these conclusions? There was nothing telling him what anything could possibly. I'm so confused, movie. We're just
well. Except, I mean, I honestly don't remember if maybe he had a chance to tell him, you know, the reason she was there. So her son was going to DC to perform for the president or for for which actually we know what time of year this took place.
I think
because
they
it's for the-
passingly
it's for
as
the
they
state-
drive. I think he tells
because
them.
it's for the State of the Union. It's for the State of the Union.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's
they're
what it
all
is.
going to be there, except for the designated survivor. But we won't get into the logistics.
Yeah, so we do see that the Secretary of Defense gets locked into a room, and the AI tells him, like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill everyone else. You're going to be the one to take everyone's place, because when I gave you that percentage, you are the only one to use your brain and say that it wasn't worth the risk, so clearly you're a better leader. Anyway, sit tight. Also, this is where the AI just takes control of a fucking drone. It just takes over a drone and chases Jerry and Agent Morgan, who's Billy Bob, chases them down the main fucking highway and just starts shooting missiles at them. And I'm like, does the AI not give a shit at this point?
No,
I feel like everyone would know this happened.
Because as a computer, the AI would have a single target and any way to get to that target. Doesn't care about it's not programmed to care about the collateral damage at all. You know, that's.
But my problem with this, right, is all those people going to the State of the Union. This is on the highway just outside of where that's taking place. Did that not get reported? Like, was no one tracking?
Well,
they had
especially
a drone
when it's going
crash?
through especially when it's going through the tunnel, and you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Cause they Jerry gets sent away. Billy Bob sacrifices himself, which is probably the dumbest sacrifice ever. Cause he just drives into like
I'm
a
not
fucking
sure how that
mediator
works.
sign.
I'm not sure how that works. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. It lifts the sign up and hits the drone.
He couldn't know by the way he was planning that it was going to pop the sign up and crash.
He's just a super genius, apparently. Also, I have a note here. They take a Jeep before Billy Bob does that. And the drone shot a missile at a cargo container being carried by a semi-truck. And said cargo container lands on the back half of the Jeep they're in. And my note here. The cargo container would have flattened the back half of that Jeep. They're not hauling it and continuing to drive the way that they are. Because they go like 3 feet and then stop, and I'm like, no, that thing just flattened your Jeep. You're not still driving.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the drone's gone. We cut over to Rachel. We see that she's getting taken to somebody else in the government, and she's going to be his date to the State of the Union thing. Got a new dress and a fancy new necklace. That necklace will be important here in a second. Because fun fact, that's the crystal explosive the AI had cut down into a necklace to be real secretive. Because you only need a little bit to get a big explosion.
I saw this in Game of Thrones. It didn't work out for them either. So, you know.
So this is where we cut to the State of the Union. And Rachel gets there. She's under a different name as the guest, whatever. And she's supposed to sit there. And this is where we see that her son's instrument is the one with the trigger device that when it hits the high F note will trigger the fucking crystal in an explosion. I'm glad Paul fucking pointed this out, because I also had it in my notes that when everyone's coming in, I'm like, there's no way in any sense of this world that every fucking member of the White House staff who's important is all being funneled to this thing. They specifically don't do that for the reason of if something were to happen.
They do. They leave one person, a designated survivor.
What the fuck? This
Probably
movie just went, no, all of them in there.
Some low-end schmuck, usually, you know.
But this movie says, nah, every single one, the vice president, the president, everybody is going. His whole cabinet's here for this. And I was like, no. So I'm glad Paul pointed that out, because, yeah, that's just not, it's just not a thing. It's like they're smart enough to not do that. But anyway, meanwhile, Agent Perez and Falcon, because I forgot to write down his name, but it's Anthony Mackie, They basically try to do iRobot and shut the AI off manually, which doesn't really work out. They get knocked off. But they do kill the AI before the explosive happens. And considering that they were like trying to get the motherboard out to give it a hard reset to shut it off, Agent Perez then just shoves a fucking crowbar into like the AI arm eye thing, and that shuts it off. And I went, then what was, just shoot it. Why did no one just shoot it before? It's that fucking easy to turn it off. You didn't have to do anything.
And it was trying to download itself to another
Yes.
thing, which don't even get me started on that shit. Okay,
You know, movie, get a movie.
As much data as was probably in that thing, it's not going to exactly something that's going to go over Comcast in any short period of time. You know,
No, it makes no sense that it thought it could upload in like 5 seconds.
No, to be fair, it did only get to like 8% before they toasted it. So
something like that. Either way, they just shoved the crowbar, and then the AI shuts off. So again, I was just like, dude, you fucking shoot it then. You could have shot it from like up above and been fine.
Remember, they were also trying to drain the the coolant, the nitrogen, the nitrogen. That way it would, because they pointed out, which is true, without the cooling system, it's going to heat up and blow itself up anyway. The same issue we're having with AI systems now. That's why they need so much water. It's about keeping the systems from melting.
Isn't it fun when things catch up to you in reality in the real world? We see the problems of these things. But I fucking hate this. When Rachel's in the State of Union, somehow she didn't fucking know this is where her son was playing? Because when her son walks in, she's like, "Oh my god, my son!" And I'm like, "Didn't you sign off on the fucking field trip?"
They explained that because that wasn't originally where they were going to perform. Remember, the guy who was leading the trip got the message, and we have a special thing, and now we're going to have to change what we do. So then they were told, now you're getting sent to the State of the Union.
I feel like Rachel's just nobody's smart in this movie except maybe Agent Perez, who's smart to try to hide things and like cover. Because like if the AI is sending you to the state, there's nothing in your brain. You heard its fucking plan earlier is to kill all of them, and nothing in your brain went, "Oh, everyone's here. This is weird." I wonder.
The one thing they did do well though is the way they had the AI plan this in such a way that you didn't know exactly where the end game was until everything fell into place, and you're like, "Oh, okay," because the kid wasn't originally going to the State of the Union. He was doing another performance in Washington D.C. And so you wait till they're partway there, and all of a sudden you shift where they're going. Okay, now we know what the target is, because if anybody would have been following it before that, well, they're just going to the Lincoln Memorial. Who cares?
Fair.
So that part they did well. A lot of this other movie stuff they didn't do well at all.
Oh, you mean like this here, where Jerry gets into where this is all being taken place? He steals security uniform, runs into the thing, realizes.
And I'm not sure if he killed that cop or just beat the shit out of him.
I don't know either. I'd assume he didn't, but fool me once. But Jerry runs in and realizes what's happening, so he just pulls out the gun on the hip holster and just fires it into the air to stop everything. I
guarantee you, in real life, he would have been dead within 5 seconds because every Secret Service agent in that room would have shot his ass.
I didn't realize this was a scene in here, but recent events would tell me that, you know what? Maybe he does get a couple rounds.
Yeah.
maybe security is not as good as it should be.
The part they edited out the movie was where the dog just kind of looks at him and goes, "What?"
Oh,
I don't like him either. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So Jerry gets shot, but he doesn't die, which that's a little inaccurate.
Also, just to
him.
point out, they pointed this out in the notes, but I'm figuring the trigger device would have been programmed in such a way that because the note the kid was supposed to hit, the high F, actually occurs earlier in the song than the last one. So unless it was specifically programmed to only trigger after it hit that certain point in the song, which
it
even
should
now
have
today,
just exploded.
Yeah, even now today we know that AI is smart enough; it can follow a song and know when it's at a certain point, even if it hears something before that.
Fair,
That's fair. But back in 2008, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite there. So yeah, the AI program gets shut down. This movie just wraps up very quickly. The AI program got shut down. People got arrested. Everything kind of got out in the open. People know about it. And then it's just Jerry shows up at Rachel's house and gives her son a big old birthday present. I don't know if they're just good friends or if they start dating. Or, I don't know.
Jerry is now daddy. Who knows?
I couldn't tell you. They don't really. They don't really fully explain that.
Never mind that all the people that died and Jerry's not being held accountable for anything.
We're friends because of our traumas. Yeah. We murdered people. And that's literally the end of the movie. I guess they stayed friends after all this. I guess. Yeah, and that's it. That's Eagle Eye. Is it a forewarning of things that are happening now? Part of it, I would say yes, because I know the AI is getting used for everything, and it shouldn't be getting used the way that it is. Drones, especially, like it's starting to get used a lot more. So honestly, like this movie made a lot of money, but critically wise, it was not panned very well.
My review would be it was a movie. That's about it. Was
yes, but and you can't even have the excuse there was nothing else. This is fucking 2008. You know what also came out in 2008 before this movie? Fucking The Dark Knight was like a few months before this movie. They were
which
really
may be
good
why
movies.
I never saw this movie. I was very into.
It very well could be. But no, so that's Eagle Eye. It's just very much just warning of like military using AI is bound to not go well for anyone. And the more I see the news now, and I see that they're not really using a whole lot of restriction and hesitation, looking back on this movie, I go, at the rate they're going, this could become a thing where it just goes, you know what? Fuck all of you. maybe be warned.
Yeah.
But in order to survive, you always have to know the rules here at Bad Taste. We've covered a lot of movies. There's a lot of different rules. I would suggest just going back and looking at any of our old videos. Ha ha ha. Give us a like and a comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, whatever. But, don't prank your friends as a serial killer. Don't dump chemicals in the waters. Don't bury the dead under the road. If you see something, say something. Don't hold on to it for years at a time. What would you give for this movie?
Don't bury your freshly dead animals in an Indian burial ground.
Yeah, listen to the old man. With this one, as I said, just caution when it comes to AI. Caution better than regret. But yeah.
If if you randomly get a bunch of like manure in the mail and a handgun, don't pick it up and look at it.
I recently, by the time this comes out, it'll be old news. I would assume, but I got to see Obsession. I have a rule for that one, which is don't force things because bad things happen. But you can always follow us. Paul here, he's just busy as shit. Follow him at CerebralPaul1 over on Twitter, or Cerebral Paul on your other social medias like Twitch and things of that nature. Because he does a lot of work, and we try to shout out the things that he does because Paul does a lot. So just go check out the things he does.
Paul needs to start doing more if he wants to get noticed. But yeah.
Welcome to my world. So anyway, you can also follow us at Oddcast and Oddcast Network here on YouTube or anywhere else. And if you're looking for just a normal podcast without the video, whatnot, go check out What an Oddcast on all your podcast platforms. The other show that I do there.
When he says normal, okay, that should be in air quotes because I've been on that show a few times now, and normal ain't it, okay?
Normal to each his own.
Though I do on that show, but I try to do on every show, including this one, at least once to make them go, did he fucking just say that? Really? That's my goal all the time.
He does it more and more as we do these movies. But this one will actually will be leading into the one that we'll be recording next and will release next, which is our July 4th episode. So stay tuned for that.
An actual good movie.
An actual good movie that
one of my
guest
favorites
star hasn't seen.
that I have literally watched about 100 times. Okay.
Yes.
And I am looking forward to this, and somebody who will be joining us hopefully has never seen it before.
It's gonna
be interesting to get his virgin take on this movie that we're gonna be watching.
I don't think you're gonna enjoy it if I know this person at all. You're probably won't like what he has to say. But until then, stay on, stay happy. We'll catch you when we catch you. Goodbye, everyone.